Unbox JD here, and today we've got this monster. Now, as you'll probably notice, the unboxing is slightly altered. I'm now downstairs while I'm recording this, purely because, well, yes, you've guessed it, this box is far too big for my standard unboxing table. This, my friends, is the Parrot Disco FPV. It's a fixed wing plane, but also gives you full FPV as well. Now, this is a little beauty. Records at 1080p, 30 frames a second, relays everything back to your phone, back through the Parrot FreeFlight Pro app, which you connect into the FPV goggles. Also comes with a transmitter, and also comes with the fixed wing drone as well, plane. So if I just take out everything for the time being, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the accessories in a bit. To begin with though, we are going to look at this. Now this is the Disco. Look at it. Absolutely huge. Just to give you some sort of an idea of how big this is, my hand and my forearm, and it hasn't even got the wings on it yet. Now, the wings do slide on. You have two little servos, one here and one here, that the wings clip into. It's these servos that move, that give you the left and right action when you're turning. And also you have a brushless motor at the back. This motor kicks out a hell of a lot. Now this particular plane is capable of doing up to 80 kilometers an hour, which is 50 miles per hour. This is unlike anything I've ever flown. This is really, really quite spectacular. You can take off the top as well, and in the top you have this, the Parrot CHUCK, which essentially has everything you'd ever want from a technological standpoint. You have your GPS modules, your accelerometers. It has every single thing inside here, and even tells you on it. Inside this contains the autopilot, GPS gyroscope, accelerometer, magnetometer, altimeter, pitot tube, optical flow camera, which is at the front, your ultrasonic altimeter, 14 megapixel camera, full HD video, recording on 3-axis, image stabilization, video streaming, 32 gigabytes of flash storage in here, Wi-Fi at 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, MIMO 2x2, USB, brushless motor, controller, RC radio input, 6 servo output, flight recorder, real-time telemetry, and for any of you total nerds like myself, the Linux SDK as well, where you can produce things for this. I'm certainly going to be jumping on that and giving that a go as well, as that is my background. I am a Linux guy, and this is going to come in very much a lot of use. So as you can see, the battery fits in the bottom here and plugs directly in. It's an XT60 connector, same as what we've seen on a lot of FPV quads. Now, the front feels quite heavy. It does feel weighted to the front a little bit. You have your two antennas either side here already connected. The cables should be in the troughs there, and you have everything else connected and plugged in exactly as it should be. You also have two micro USB slots underneath here. You need to plug in the micro USB to retrieve your video, retrieve your flight recordings, as well as your photos from here as well. Now, as I'm sure you've guessed, oh, that's magnetized. That's cool. Two little magnets on the bottom there, so as you go to put it back in, it just snaps in. That's really cool. Didn't expect that. As I'm sure you guessed, this is EPP foam. Very heavy duty. It also has an optical flow sensor on the bottom of it as well. Oh, there's so much technology. Oh yeah, and that ridiculous thing is the on and off button. Right, yeah. Do you know what? So far, absolutely incredible. You also get spare propellers, one set, as well as two little screws as well. You also get your manual, as well as you get your battery. Now this is a 27 milliamp hour, 29 watt battery. 27 milliamp hour, 29.97 watts an hour battery. Look at the size of that thing. Absolutely amazing. 11.1 volts. Absolutely incredible. And again, XT60 connector. Perfect. Really, really good. Right. So you have your charging cable and you have your connecting cable as well for the back of the drone. Right, so that's your battery. Then you have your power brick. And then underneath here, we should have the wings, I'm hoping. Yes, we do. Perfect. Loads of polystyrene. I like attention to detail, and I like companies giving you what you need, and that's exactly what you need. Right, so here's one of the wings. EPP foam, nice flick in the end, just so we can cut through the breeze properly, and when you're turning, give you stability as well. Now, this is the bottom part here. this is the part that moves with the servo. So your servo clips into there, and this is what moves. You can see there's a slight groove there, and if I turn it round, you can see a trough in the back there. It's this part of the wing that shifts. You have your two plastic, no, I don't know actually, two dowels and two clips. With these, it's this that then clips into the drone, or into the fixed wing I should say. So if you hold this in and just connect it in, then you should have a click once you've lined up the servo, and that's it, is in. So you've got the one in, there's your servo connected, all nice and proper. Wow, look at the absolute size of this. This is going to be an absolute demon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the box to the sofa. I'm going to put the fixed wing on this really useless table. And then of course we have the other wing as well. Exactly the same arrangement. It fits in just with dowels and hooks. So you've got to align those, move the servo, and then 3, 2, 1, click it in. Oh my god, look at the absolute size of that. Right, this is absolutely colossal. I'm hoping you're getting some sort of an idea of scale. If you're not, this is my hand next to the whole thing. Oh, I don't know what to say. This is going to be an experience and a half, ladies and gentlemen. This really is going to be an experience and a half. Okay, if I put that back down, then you can see everything there. Also, what I didn't show you is you get a tablet stand for inside, for on your transmitter as well, and you get a little box of accessories, which comes with your charging cables, all of your different charging cables, your hookup cables, your little connectors for your power brick. Every single thing you could ever want is inside there. Right, this is turning into something quite spectacular. I'm going to really look forward to this. Right, so that is the fixed wing. That is colossal. I'm really looking forward to taking this up. You hand launch this. So when you turn on your transmitter and when you actually click motor start, the motor starts to spin. It'll spin for about 3 or 4 seconds, just at a very low regulated speed, and then it'll kick in and it'll make a hell of a noise. It's at that point that you just throw it like a frisbee, and then it just starts and picks up. It goes up to an altitude of up to 60 meters. You can alter that altitude in the app should you want to. I'm going to leave it at 60 meters. That's roughly about 122 foot. And then when it gets up to that altitude, it just circles around you. So quite literally in a clockwise fashion, you can alter that if you prefer. It just circles around you at 60 meters until you decide to move it. And then if you let go and you move over the transmitter, it'll then circle above you again. Oh, so good. Really looking forward to this. Right, let's look at these goggles. As I'm sure you can guess, these goggles are for your smartphone. You open up your Flight Pro app, you pop your smartphone inside the goggles once you've taken off all this film, and then you should be fine. Now, because the Parrot Disco has been out for a while, it doesn't contain an active list of all smartphones in the manual, but you may be able to find what smartphones are actually available to use online. So if I just move everything out of the way, and then what you have is you then pop your smartphone inside here, exactly as it dictates inside the on the foam, bit of sponge there, and then you just slot this in until it clicks in. Then you look through the magnetized glasses here, and you should see the Parrot app all perfectly working. These feel big. These are called the cockpit glasses, and they feel really big. They feel really weighty. I'm actually looking forward to giving them a crack and seeing exactly how they go in. They should work very, very well. I'm hoping that they're going to work very well. They certainly look quite futuristic. They look the part. Same colour scheme as the Disco, so it all goes in very, very well. All truth be told, that is really nice. So let's put that to one side, and then we have our amplified range transmitter. Now this transmitter and this drone are capable of going up to 2 kilometers. And now it's all down to this down, well, as far as it goes from the control of the device, it's all down to this plate here. Your amplified antenna, your GPS locator as well, is all inside here. So quite literally, as you're using this, your range is being boosted out directly from here to the Disco. The Disco does have a geofence as well, so if you do fly and if you do find that you are going further out and further out, once you hit the geofence, it'll just come straight back to you, same as most other geofence things. Now, straight away, there is something about this transmitter that really bugs me. When you attach your tablet stand onto this transmitter, you are going to find, and your phone stand, you are going to find that the stand itself does obscure some of the controls. I don't necessarily like that. I like my hands to be free, so I can move them about and I can move my hands whichever way I want to, and they're not going to be hitting anything plastic. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think that's going to be a little bit of getting used to. But quite literally, it is a little screw-on affair that when you just put it up next to the antenna, you just screw it in, and you should find that it goes in without any issues, and it gets slightly tighter, and then there we are, done. So that's it, you're in, you're fully in, no problem whatsoever. You've got a little release catch on the bottom here that you push in order to move out your stand there, and it's ratchet clipped straight back in. So as for the buttons, what you have is you have takeoff in the middle here, then you have return to home, you have settings, then A and B. A is take photo in flight, and B is start stop recording as well in flight. And you also have your on and off button, which is a little nubbin in the middle there, which I've just clicked on just so you can see it just shining red. Once again, to turn it off, you just click and hold should be. Come on. And it should turn itself off. There we are, fine. And then you have your charger for your charging port just in the bottom here, just to charge the battery, the internal battery. You can get access to it should you want to, just by twisting this and taking the back panel off. You also have a couple of buttons on the side. So if you look at the right shoulder buttons first, this wheel here is this wheel here is set the camera exposure, so you can set the exposure here, so if it's too dark or too light you can just twist this to get a better picture. And then you can use this little button at the back here, which changes the display mode on the application. So it cycles through different display modes on while you're flying. On the other side, you have a USB port, which you can plug into your phone or into your tablet just to charge it. And then you have, once again, you have a rocker, and you have a little shoulder button here. Now, the rocker on this side is switches the vertical orientation of the camera, and also you have a rocker here as well, which you have a button, which is to switch to direct view or immersive view. So again, you can change views just by clicking these two buttons at the back here. All in all, it's set up really quite nicely. As it's Parrot, it feels nice. This antenna, even though it looks big and it is quite unsightly, it doesn't feel that heavy. It feels quite nice. I think when you've got a phone in here or a tablet, it's actually going to feel really quite good, and I quite like that. I quite like that a lot. And likewise, you have a little screw here. If you were to unscrew that, you can twist this so that you can have it on landscape as well, by the look of it. I'm going to give that a try and see how it goes. I don't know, it looks like it might do. I'm going to give it a shot anyway and see how that goes. But it does feel nice, it feels really well built, feels really sturdy, the plastic is quite thick. All in all, it does feel like a very good transmitter. Right, and then once again, you have your manual. So your manual itself, English is right at the front. It takes you through all the different parts of the plane. It takes you through the Parrot CHUCK, the micro USB port, central engine connector and everything else. Then as you go through it, it takes you on to the presentation of the Parrot's cockpit glasses, so what phones work, even though this list is quite an old list. Just to double check, as I said at the start of the video, double check to ensure that, double check online rather, to get a full up-to-date list of what phones you can use now, how to get the app, how to click everything in place and how to set everything up, pre-flight checks, flight conditions. It doesn't recommend, check weather conditions, do not fly the Parrot Disco in rain, fog, snow, that's a given, or wind over 12 meters per second, which is 43 kilometers an hour. So that in itself, even though you can fly this, it doesn't recommend flying it over speeds at those speeds, just to think that it is actually a very capable plane. And also, piloting configurations, it first recommends you to pilot with the Skycontroller, then pilot with the Skycontroller and smartphone, and then lastly, once you've mastered these two, then move on to the cockpit classes. Likewise, you have all different configurations, how to set up the Parrot Disco, how to configure it via GPS. Your app will tell you this as well when you first turn it on. Likewise, yeah, there we are. I thought you could. You can twist that to a landscape view. How to set up your Parrot to work with your smartphone or your tablet, and then likewise how to use the Parrot cockpit glasses and piloting modes as well, and how to take off. So all in all, very, very, very informative, this little box, so keep that quite close to you. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is, and you know what, it doesn't feel that heavy. It feels quite light. It is going to be over the 250 gram limit though, my friends. I think fully made up with the battery, this comes in at about 700 grams. So it is quite heavy. It is far over that particular, over the regulations. So there we are, folks. Please join me in a couple of days when we're going to be taking this guy out and we're going to be putting him through his paces, or rather, him putting me through my paces. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening, folks. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.